Really excited. No, we've needed to get to work as we've been talking about it. Really happy that we were able to come to this agreement for organizing the late but the start of session. Honored to serve now as speaker, but now we can get to the work that Minnesotans are expecting us to do. It's been delayed, but I really am hopeful. As you could see, the cooperative exchange, bills being signed. I was really pleased when you look out at the chamber. Even with everything that's happened, the collegiality that we saw in this chamber is really encouraging for all Minnesotans.
You mentioned that shortened timeline. Budget, it's the big one on the ticket. Has there been some strategy, some discussion on how to tackle that, given we're a few weeks kind of behind?
We're about 4 weeks behind, except House Republicans have been doing our work all along, really digging into the budget as much as we can. The February forecast, which actually will come out March 6th, that is what will determine, our budget targets and everything going forward, giving us a better picture. So even though it's a condensed time, I don't see that we will be late. I fully expect that we will be able to wrap this up on time on May 19th.
None of the Democratic representatives swore in today. Is today's deal, today's session, is that sort of an admission that their secret swearing-in ceremony was legitimate? Or?
We look at all of the swearing-in that took place, even though that was unprecedented, and it was a move that I would hope would never be repeated in the state of Minnesota. We are moving forward today. We were all duly elected members here, sitting in this chamber, ready to get to work for the people of Minnesota.
Legislation introduced maybe to close some of these loopholes or gaps in the future?
Those are things that aren't in the top 25, but those are things that are being discussed right now, and we look forward to that work.
I know you said the party's efforts are separate from your own, but they announced during the session that they're going to continue with recall efforts. Are you concerned at all that that could mess with the agreements that you've come to today and the feelings that we saw on the floor today?
The reason that we were able to get this organizational agreement in place was because of a lot of hard work leading up to this. We are set. We are ready to go. You'll see our first committee starting already on Monday. We'll be back in the chamber at 3:30. I know the state party's work is very important, what they are doing, but the work that we have to do here now, getting to the work of the people of Minnesota, will continue to move forward even while the state party is doing their things.
Could you just help clarify something for us? We've heard from your Democratic colleagues saying that the offer that's been agreed to is the same one they've had since January. Meanwhile, you say it was only yesterday that they did propose this in giving you the full role of Speaker of the House. So which is it? Where's the discrepancy coming from?
Yeah, so I think it was interesting today hearing Representative Hollins talking about former Speaker Hortman in the last week giving up her the title of Speaker that she had wanted. I think that more accurately reflects the movement that they made in the last week, where they actually finally gave up or came to the realization and admission that what we're going to do is elect a speaker 67 to 66, and that speaker is Lisa Damath. And it's good that they finally acknowledged that, and that was important to be able to have this organization today and move forward.
You got quite the ovation from everyone in this chamber today. What was that like for you in that moment?
The opportunity to serve as Speaker of the House is an honor, and I don't take that lightly. Even just seeing the chamber filled again with people today, as I looked out over those faces, some people I hadn't even met yet, but other colleagues that I've served with over time, it is an honor that I would have this ability to work together. I'm very collaborative. As you heard me say, my door is open. I want to hear different ideas, and I want to work together. I think all of us do. We will disagree. That is a given, but I think we can be disagreeable as we do that. I mean, we won't be disagreeable as we do that. We will disagree on the issues, but we will work forward and find a path forward. If we focus on what we actually agree on and what we have in common, we can get a lot of things done, and I look forward to that work.
Madam Speaker, I got to ask you, now that the title is official, how do you feel about this? And do you think are we going to be able to get this thing done on time this session?
I believe that we will be able to get our work done on time. That committee work is going to be starting right away. It is going to be a push forward, all hands on deck, if I can use that, but we'll be able to get our work done.
Do you think it's fair to say or would you say that the past 3, almost 4 weeks are in the past, or do you think it's going to take a while to move on from the conflict that you experienced in that time?
I think today is a really good start of a pathway forward. Obviously, everyone in the chamber has their own experiences as far as what the last few weeks were, even last year for those that were in the chamber before. But it's time that we move forward and figure out those things that we can work on and agree on and do for Minnesotans. Lower taxes, safe communities, ending the fraud in the state of Minnesota. There is a lot of work to be done in a collaborative effort. Yeah.
And earlier this morning, she said that there is still some anger between the parties, and that could, I don't know if she said like hinder negotiations, but like there is still some anger over what has happened in the last weeks. Do you agree with that?
I looked across the chamber, as I had said earlier, at where people were visiting, welcoming people back. Maybe not everyone, but I think that was a really good sign of a next step and where we need to head from now. I think the feeling that was here in the chamber, and you saw people from each side of the aisle crossing over, sitting next to their colleagues, that was a really good sign. No, I just mean that some people stayed in their own desks. You didn't see everyone crossing over. So I think we have a really good opportunity to do the work for the people of Minnesota.
Have you had any conversations with Representative Tabke since his return to the Capitol?
I have not had a chance to talk with Representative Tabke yet.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.